I'd like to introduce Patricia from England, who takes LDN for multiple sclerosis. Good afternoon, Patricia.
Good afternoon.
Could you tell me when you were diagnosed with MS?
Oh dear, I was diagnosed in 1980.
And how old were you then?
I beg your pardon?
How old were you?
Oh, I am 64.
Right. Okay, so I was just trying to work out how old you were at the time. But when you...
All right, the truth is I'm 72. That'll make it easier.
Okay. So before you were diagnosed, had you been noticing peculiar things happening to you before you were diagnosed?
I was diagnosed, I was living in Mexico, and I was in the most horrific state. I couldn't walk. This started with my hands and my feet going tingly, which I couldn't understand. I was falling asleep a lot, and then I was unable to walk. I was walking, but I was holding on to everything.
Yes.
And that was in Mexico. And then I came to England in 1990, and I started feeling even worse. I had a lot of problems with my marriage. Well, it ended. And I had cancer when I came to England, and I had which resulted in a urostomy. My bladder, I had cancer of the bladder and the urethra, I think it was, tubes, and somewhere else, but I think that's enough.
Okay. Before you found LDN, how would you have rated your quality of life on a score of 1 to 10?
How would I, 1 to 10? I would say 9.
No, 10 is the best, sorry.
I said 9.
It's 9, okay. So yes. You were only one off from being the best you could be?
Yes.
Yep, great, okay.
I started seeing the benefits after LDN within a week. Now, I know that sounds, ridiculous, but it's true. I started feeling, I thought at first it was because it was a new drug and I was excited by it and all that, but no, I thought I felt a difference. By the end of the second week, I was even more sure, and by the end of the month, I was convinced that I was feeling better. Not up to 9, but I was feeling a lot better.
Right, okay. So if you feel a 9 taking LDN, what was it before you started?
3, 4, because okay. I can only judge this by what I feel, but I couldn't walk at all unless I was holding on to somebody's arm. Mm-hmm. So how bad is that? With a walking stick in my left hand and the other way around, with holding on to a walking stick in my right hand and holding on with my left arm.
Right.
And also I couldn't walk very far even like that, because some of the worst accidents I had was tripping over. In fact, in one case I tripped over and broke my knuckles in the left hand and twisted my wrist, and I ended up in hospital. It was really badly damaged.
Mm-hmm.
And
what?
Yes.
What
I had a lot of falls, but I think that was I had worse ones than that. I fell when I was getting undressed to go to bed. I fell forward on onto the side of the bedside cabinet, and split my forehead open. Oh. And yes, it's so long ago now. It seems so long ago that I'm forgetting I was that bad. But yes, I had some pretty awful falls. I was never able to go out alone. I was terrified of going anywhere. But if I got out of a car, because I was going by taxi until I got the car, I was terrified that they'd stop where it was bumpy, because there was no way I could manage to walk. Mm-hmm. So life was pretty miserable, and I live alone, which made it even worse, completely alone. And that's what I'm afraid of without my LDN now. I live completely alone. I have only one relative who lives 60, 70 miles away, and she has her own life, so I can't ask her. And that's one of my fears. Mm-hmm. I was just taken by complete shock when I saw my neurologist a few days, I think it was maybe week before last. I saw him just to show him, just to really show him, because I hadn't seen him for a year, and I thought, well, I ought to keep in touch. So I went to see him, and he was a little offhanded, though he always is a little bit. And then I received a letter, which was rather strange, because they told me to make an appointment with my doctor, not my doctor, but Dr. Kelly, because my doctor was out of town. He just left for his holiday. And I thought, well, I wonder what they want to see me about. The first thing I thought was my cancer, because I've had it twice. And I was very worried. And also, this was a doctor that I almost never see anyway. And she said, well, I've got some bad news for you. I'm afraid your LDN has been cut off. And it took a little while to sink in. And she said, I said, why? And she said, we're sorry, Patricia, we've been fighting for you for a long time. Really, we have. I had no idea of that. And your neurologist has said no more, because there is, and when I said why, because he said there's no evidence that it's working. And I said, but surely I'm evidence alone.
Yes.
He saw me when I was on my walking stick. Mm-hmm. And, so since then I didn't do anything for a couple of days. I was too shocked. And now I've come back fighting fit. And I'm going to do the best I can, because I feel he's playing with my life.
Yes. You'll have to have a word with your own GP.
What would he do if his daughter or his wife had it? Yeah. Or his son? I just don't understand. I can't help but feel, of course it's not personal, but I can't help but feeling that it must be, but I know it's not. But why should some neurologists give it and not others?
Yeah.
I mean, are we allowed it or are we not? Mm-hmm. And if not, why not?
Yes.
And I know someone, I don't want to get her into a problem with getting her LDN, but she's from the same, area, in the same hospital or in the same lot as my doctor, my neurologist, and she's just had hers given back to her after, I think, over a year. Hers was stopped over a year ago, and she's recently had it returned. I think she got her first lot this month or something. Mm-hmm. I mean, isn't that good enough? I just don't understand.
Yes. Doesn't sound fair, does it?
No, it doesn't. I live on my benefits, so I'm not, doing terribly well financially, and I just can't bear. Well, my car is parked exactly outside of my house. Now, how far can that be for any house without mentioning distance? And there was no way, when I first came to live here, there was no way I could go to my car without, because there's no railing or anything, but there was no way I could go to my car without my walking stick.
Yes.
And I've even started, I think I'm still getting better, because I've noticed that within the last year, it seems, that I'm not missing my phone calls as frequently as I did. I often, by the time I got to my phone, it would stop ringing. I know you can put a longer ring on it, but you know, that's in the last year, I think, it's changed. But I very seldom miss my phone now.
Oh. Yes. Well, good luck with
I
your
think
own
I'm getting better.
And let me know how you get on.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you for sharing your experience with us.
Well, thank you very, very much. It's very kind of you. I hope you can help me, because if you don't, well, God might. Thank you very much. Goodbye.
Thank you.